Hey there, this is the penta flower, and in this video we'll talk about this plant. This is a summer blooming plant that produces a year-long star-shaped blooms. It originated from the African continent with the scientific name of Pentas lanceolata, and this is commonly called as Egyptian star cluster or Egyptian star flower. And the penta flower is star-shaped and it has 5 petals, hence the name penta. And this is one of the few flowers that I have in my garden. Pentas are fast-growing plants. They come in small to medium-sized herbaceous shrub that has become very popular as an ornamental outdoor and potted plant. Pentas develop sparkling star-shaped flowers all summer long. Some are red, white, lavender, purple, or pink. Pentas are sun lover. The plant will take full sunlight to partial shade, but not full shade. Pentas grow in full sun, and while it also grows in part sun to part shade, it will flower less abundantly. It will bloom more abundantly with more sun. To get abundant flower production from your pentas, ensure that they are getting at least 4 hours of direct sunlight every day, or at least on the days when the sun is out. Pentas are attractive plants, and they will lure some butterflies and some birds to your garden because this plant is a rich source of nectar. Pentas are low-maintenance plants. Provided they get plenty of water, sunshine, and heat, they will perform beautifully and reward you with an abundance of blooms. Pentas propagate easily from cuttings and also from seeds, but the gardeners find it very easy to propagate by cuttings. Take some plant cuttings and then trim off the bottom leaves. Before taking cuttings, prepare the small pots with a moistened starter medium, the well-draining soil mix. So, use a well-draining potting mix that will allow the free drainage of water. And I'm using 1 part loam soil, 1 part garden soil, and 1 part rice hulls as my well-draining soil mix. And now fill soil into your pot. Make a hole in the starter pot in the soil, stick the cutting in, and firm the soil around the cutting. You can use any kind of soil, just be sure it is a well-draining soil. Any garden soil will do. You can add some compost or some grits and maybe some sand to make it loose so that the water can pass through it easily. Pests of these plants are not too much. I haven't seen mealybugs so much, but there are white flies sometimes. But when it rains, it will wash out the pest away. Control fungus and white flies with an insecticidal soap spray or organic all-natural neem oil insecticide. And now, after planting the cuttings, water it thoroughly. And then cover it with plastic bag to retain moisture, and the cuttings will not easily dry out. The plastic bag will create a moist and warm condition around the cuttings, and this will encourage the roots to develop. Then place your newly planted cuttings in the place with indirect sunlight. Pentas in general need regular watering and prefer a well-drained soil that doesn't stay soggy after a heavy rainfall. And besides sunlight, pentas care requires plenty of water. The hotter and more sunlight the pentas plant receives, the more water it needs. So keep the soil evenly moist. Sitting it in water will rot the roots. Plants may need more water during the hotter summer months, and pentas are considered moderately drought tolerant. You may prune the plants when a few of the branches are noticeably taller than the rest of the plant. You can root them and use them as new roots. And in fertilizing, the plant will love it if you give it a lot of organic feed like compost or vegetable waste. Use a liquid fertilizer at half the level rate every other month. But otherwise, it does well also without much attention, and that's why it's very easy to grow strong. Deadhead penta flowers to encourage more blooms. Young penta plant care should include pinching off the stem ends to force a more compact plant. Deadhead or snip dead or overgrown stems during the growing season. And so with this, we come to the end of another episode of Mimaling. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe and thank you for watching. See you in my next video.